What's up, guys? It's another Music Gear Monday. I'm Carl Carell, and today we are talking about the CDJ3000s versus the Pioneer RX3, some of the pros and cons. I've owned both of these pieces of gear for a little while now, so I'm just going to talk about my experience with them and which ones might be a good purchase decision for you. So we're going to get into that today on Music Gear Monday. Let's do it. I've owned both of these pieces of gear for a little while now. Went through all of getting accessories for these things, like these deck savers, these magma cases. But we're gonna talk about some of the differences between the RX3 and the CDJ3000s and why each one is unique. First thing we want to talk about is weight and size. These CDJs weighing in somewhere around 15 pounds. They're heavier. They're definitely heavier than the previous CDJs and definitely heavier than a lot of other media players out there, well as taller as a lot of the other media players out there, but they're still lighter than an RX3. So traveling with the CDJs I've found to be kind of stressful. Putting these very expensive CDJs into something like a rolling case, which I've done a couple of times, really worries me because of the way that there is not enough padding, there's not enough protection in a lot of these rolling cases, so that they're not really made for these guys. I do have a Pelican case and some Magma cases, but when I take that with me, it just adds to having a lot more gear, having a lot more cases with me. So I've found that using the rolling case actually saves me a lot of, lugging around a big giant case. And also I'm able to bring that case onto the plane with me versus checking it, stressing about TSA or whoever losing my luggage and losing some very expensive players. It's kind of one of the pluses to using one of the rolling cases. As far as traveling with, they make a soft case for the RX3. They make a hard case for the RX3. Well, the RX3 is already about 28 pounds with no case. So when you add a hard case to it, or protective hard case to it, it takes it up to almost 60 pounds because it's another almost 30 pounds of case. Soft case should keep it under 50, but there again, the RX3 is a bigger piece of gear, so you are still looking at a piece of gear that you have to check or walk all the way, to the bridge and leave it for them to put onto the plane there for you. Both exceptionally built pieces of gear. I would say I would rather travel with an RX3 because it's all in one unit. You don't have to worry about lugging around your mixer separately, and it's just an easier time as far as setup and things like that go. The CDJ3000s I feel like are more of a home-based gear, a piece of gear that lives directly in a club, or a piece of gear that is part of a rental unit, something like that. Not really made for flying in and out, back and forth from different places like that. So amazing piece of gear, but definitely something that I worry about when traveling with. Functionality wise, the mechanical wheel on both the CDJs and RX3 feel really good. The RX3, you're gonna get a lot smaller of a platter, obviously. You still get the screen in the middle to display the artwork and display the time. So you get a similar feel there. You still get a lot of the functionality that you have on the CDJ3000s on the actual RX3. You move these hot cues, instead of being up at the top below the screen, they're pad versions, which are similar on most controllers, at the bottom of the unit. And also you get rid of having an SD card slot, which I really like because I like to put the SD in there and just leave it in there. Obviously, if you own a pair of CDJs, you can leave your own SD card in there and just have it there for you to go through your library at any time. You still have the same menu functionality at the top on your RX3. You still have your tag, your back, your little jog wheel here, your filter and your shortcut. You still have all of this functionality. You still get that big screen. The only downside with using the RX3 versus CDJs is that you're cutting that screen in half to basically fit both CDJ units into one, having it basically a dual layered player. Cut that screen in half as far as seeing the waveforms and different things like that. You do get the newer waveforms. You do get a lot of the newer functionality, the new firmware. You get the same firmware from the CDJ3000s on the RX3, so it looks just as beautiful. You do lose out on a couple of different features when you're using the RX3 versus the CDJs. One is having a key sync on your CDJs. The key sync is not, at least from now that I have used it, can't use the key sync on the RX3 unless you're plugged into a laptop using it like a controller with Rekordbox. Then you could have a key sync feature, but just by themselves, you don't have a key sync feature. So that's one of the things you lose out on going to the RX3. And then the other thing is having your ProLink features. So being able to link multiple units, you cannot link a CDJ player to your RX3. So the ProLink features are not available on the RX3, which I wish they were, because that's kind of a good feature to have, especially for somebody like me who's using a DJS1000. Other than that, a ton of similar features. Build quality, like I said, very, very similar. I don't like clicky buttons. I would rather have them be rubberized. A little bit of feedback, but really premium filled, really solid build quality that you're getting in both the RX3 and the CDJ3000s. As far as, you know, the benefits of owning the CDJ3000s over the RX3 is that you could switch out which mixer you are using. So a lot of times I'll use these CDJ3000s with an S11 mixer, which I love playing on the S11 just because I have more fun with the paddle effects for me to play on than the 900, which is recommended for these guys because it has the built-in ProLink features. I still do use a 900 every now and again, play on these guys, especially if you're using multiple players. Like if you're using 4 players, having a 4-channel 900 mixer is gonna be beneficial to you because you're gonna have those extra channels, and also you'll have those ProLink features where you'll be able to sync your mixer up with your players. So that's one of the things that is great about having one of those 900 mixers with these guys. But like I said, having a CDJ allows you to switch between whatever mixers you want to use. But also the RX3 has a built-in kind of Nexus 900 series mixer on it. You get a lot of the features that one of those 900 series mixers has. You also get an auxiliary input that you can go into that you can actually throw effects on as well, which on a S11 or S9, you don't really have the option to throw effects on the auxiliary. The modularity, if a player ever goes out on you, you can replace that player and you still have your mixer and your other CDJ. With the RX3, if something happens to the built-in mixer or either side platter or anything like that, you have to get the whole unit replaced or repaired. So that's one of the benefits of having separate players and a mixer. All right, so as far as longevity goes on these players, this CDJ is gonna be around for a long period of time. I don't see them doing any kind of hardware updates, at least for another decade. These players are gonna be able to get through a lot. They're built like tanks. Ability to withstand crazy amounts of heat is gonna help them outlast a lot of competition out there. And they're very sought after right now. Firmware makes it very similar to playing off of something like Rekordbox or something like Serato, because it allows you to quickly search for music, tag stuff, add cues, key sync, beat sync, do all kind of stuff that you can do within your DJ software built into one deck, you know, without having to take that laptop out. And I think that's gonna, you know, make a lot of people jump towards using CDJs. The RX3, I feel like will be around for a good chunk of time. With controllers, I feel like they're always replacing controllers and updating things. There's always something better that they can add to a controller. And also the user base of controllers is a lot wider. So we're gonna see the price jump up and down on those controllers, the user base jump up and down on the controllers. One of the benefits to having one of the RX3s is that Serato users, Rekordbox users, I think DJ Pro users now can use that controller and all play the same party. Whereas if you have a 900 mixer and CDJs, some of those 900 mixers don't work with Serato, but you have to have a specific mixer to work with different platforms. With that RX3, it's gonna work with most DJ platforms out there. So you're able to have anybody that wants to DJ that has a laptop or a thumb drive that uses, you know, Rekordbox or Serato, or I still have to look up if it works with DJ Pro, but anybody that wants to jump on can jump on pretty easy with one of those RX3s. And the learning curve on how to use it isn't that much difficult than using any other DJ controller out there. As far as the price goes, I feel like depending on what your DJ situation is, if you're somebody that wants to put sets together to play at festivals a lot, does not want to drop 9 grand on 2 CDJs and a Nexus mixer, the RX3 might be a good solution for you. Or somebody that just wants to get into playing on CDJs, somebody that wants lightweight thing to take around with them for everybody and anybody to be able to hop onto. The RX3 is like a really, really good option. Comes in around a little over 2 grand, which is the cost of just one CDJ3000. So you're gonna get a lot more bang for your buck with the RX3. As far as compatibility goes, as far as portability goes, I feel like the RX3 is a really good price. For the CDJs, is definitely an investment. Somebody that's a pro user, if you're somebody that plays a ton of festivals, if you're somebody that has a production company, somebody that owns a nightclub, you wanna have a pro DJ setup, you know, the CDJ3000s with a 900 setup is probably a good investment for you. For me, I like both. I enjoy playing on both. I'm having fun experimenting with these things and seeing what they could do. Leaning more towards traveling and doing more stuff with the RX3 just because it's easier for me to travel with and have anybody play on. But again, like I said, I really love the CDJ3000s. We will see. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, those are some of the differences, some of the pros, some of the cons about owning CDJ3000s or RX3. Let me know, which one would you go for? Put it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. I'll be making some more videos about these players coming soon. I'm Carl Carell. That's going to be it for Music Gear Monday today. Catch you guys here next week. Peace. Shout out to our sponsors today, Crate Connect Digital Record Pool, providing tons of new music, new releases, hundreds of different genres and chart-topping hits, everything and anything, instrumentals, acapellas, Latin, moombahton, techno, dance hall, even country music. So if you're a DJ and you want to spruce up your music library, this is a great tool to utilize. The price is just right, with different options from 30 days, 90 days, and 180 days. With high resolution audio, this is a great option for anybody wanting to expand their DJ library. They even have a clothing shop. This one's my favorite. Make sure to hop on over, check out Crate Connect. I will be putting a link in the description below, which will include a discounted price. So make sure to hop on that while it lasts.